Where we left off was chapter 3, second deployment.
Yep.
Jay had gotten injured. Jay Redmond got into a firefight, and you flew back home.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit right after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably, I'd say less than a week. Probably 3 to 4 days. I mean, by the time I landed back in Virginia Beach, I drove straight to Portsmouth, and Maddie was already back there. Luke the corpsman was already back there. I believe Jay was still in Bethesda, and then they all reconsolidated later.
Is that a standard practice whenever someone gets into a firefight?
No.
No. Obviously, the injured gets to go home.
Yeah, I think mine was different. And the boss I had at the time was a Mustang officer. His name's Katie, and he's still active now, so I'm not going to drop his name, but he was a Mustang officer, meaning he was prior enlisted, did 2, 3, 4 platoons, and then, God, I think he went to Auburn, got his degree, came back, and then he became an officer in SEAL teams. Probably one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. He was an old school dude, that old school East Coast mentality, and now he's an officer, and I really, really respected him. He grew up under my dad, so I already kind of had that connection with him, but just a really good dude, and he was there throughout the entire thing, and he was our OIC on our second deployment. The officer in charge had one other dude above him, and then he fleeted up on our third deployment to become the troop commander. But I'd had so many close calls on that second deployment that after that one, he kind of just looked at me in the team room, and he's like, "You're out of here." And I was like, "Dude, we still got another 2 weeks left. Like, we got to go back out." And he just said no. He's like, "You're threading the needle, man, and it's not looking good. And if you get killed the last 2 weeks in here, your father will kill me." So they sent me home, and I wasn't super excited about it, but it was definitely the right call. I was definitely pulling my strings, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have much left in me. I was pretty jammed up after that. Just, the deployment was great. The people were great. Had some leadership issues, guys I just wasn't gelling with. I didn't like some of the personalities involved. For the most part, I'd say an 85-90% solution, like just in love with them. And then some of the people in the leadership, I didn't like their style. I didn't like the way they were doing things, and I was kind of wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the best thing. But yeah, I mean, went back, saw those guys in the hospital, saw Maddie, trying to help those guys through the rehab process. But I mean, you get 2 weeks off and you're right back into it. I mean, I land at Virginia Beach, I see him in the hospital, I'm running Maddie and the guy's food from Taste Unlimited up there every day, and then you kind of just got to stop. Like, I got trips, I'm on the road. And so yeah, I think maybe 2 weeks of downtime. I forget what my next school was. I'll just say it was Static Line Jump Master, because I was trying to go down the air rabbit hole, and just school after school after school, and then we started the Workup. And I had a platoon chief that was in there who actually came from Great Lakes. He was a dive motivator. So he'd been out of the game for a long time, hadn't been in the GWAT, so very new to him. And then we had an assistant platoon chief under him who just wasn't really my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, we started doing the Workup, and it was painfully obvious that they were not on the same page as everybody else. Just, the GWAT was progressing so fast, and tactics and TTPs and SOPs, they were just evolving so quick. And if you weren't moldable and flexible and able to make those course corrections, it really jammed you up. Like that whole, like, this is the way we've always done it, that's not a thing anymore, because you've never done it. Like, this is the way we have to do it because the war's progressing too fast. You have to be able to change and adopt, and they weren't. So they both got moved out, and I left a huge void. And I was so fortunate that I had Katie as our troop commander, and then my troop chief was Steph Bass. Remember Steph Bass? He got the Navy Cross in Mazar-e Sharif in 2001 or 2. He was with the SBS and stormed the castle trying to rescue, I believe it was Mike Spann. I think Mike Spann.
Yeah.
Got overrun, and he was in that firefight for, I think, 2 days straight, calling in JDAMs on himself. So, I mean, he had more individual combat experience than probably anybody else in the service at that time. And you think just him and one other dude were out there for, call it 24, 48 hours. I mean, picking up AKs off dead guys and still continuing to push over and over and over again. clearing a floor with hand grenades, moving up over and over. They would just charge him wave after wave after wave. So when he came in, it was like, holy shit, there's a demigod sitting across from you. And I loved him, dude. I still do. Steph Bass is one of the finest dudes I've ever served with. And proof is in the pudding, man. He lived the life. And he was so good at being top cover for the boys that when you see it, you can't unsee it. Like, his whole sole purpose in life is to put us in the best possible advantage to affect maximum damage on the enemy with reducing as much bullshit on the force as humanly possible, and he was extremely good at it. But now he didn't have a number 2 because we got rid of both platoon chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really struggling at that time, dude. I just met Patsy, starting to date Patsy, and I don't have anybody to mold myself after. I'm on my 3rd platoon, so I'm one of the senior guys. And it's not that I didn't have these polarizing figures I was trying to mimic. There wasn't a dude that stood out so far that I could chase him. Like, for the most part, we were pretty much peers. You know, my performance was the highest it's ever been at that point. Shooting well, CQB's great, all the core foundation, I'm right where I need to be, but I'm not chasing anybody. I feel like I'm stagnant. And we heard a rumor that we were getting a guy in, a former guy from development group who was doing a tour down in North Carolina for a little bit, and we had an opportunity to get him, and they were mixed reviews. A lot of the guys are, there's a lot of guys drinking haterade. Like, right. Oh, if he comes from the command, he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, he's going to treat us like shit and all this stuff. And I was just an open book, man. Like, I really wanted to go to development group, and I thought if that guy came in who was like, well, at least I get to touch one of them. Like, I'll be able to pick his brain and see about selection and preparation and how it really is it worth it, and all the different stuff. And bro, I'll never forget, man. One of the most meaningful 10 minutes of my whole life, dude. I'm walking through the high bay, and one of the guys bumps me. He's like, hey, new platoon chief's in the high bay. I was like, oh, shit. And I throw open that door, and he's standing probably 20 feet back, dead center of this high bay. He's got his camis on, and, hair's short, but it's kind of combed over, and you can't see tattoos. You can't see anything. He just looks like a normal dude.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an aura radiating off this dude that it was like a magnet. It pulled me straight into him. I didn't shake his hand. I didn't fist bump him. I fucking hugged him. I did. Ask him. I hugged him. And I was like, I've been waiting my whole fucking life for you, dude. Thank you so much for being here. And right after I hugged him, he kind of leaned back. He's like, you must be DJ. I am. He's like, I've been waiting for you too. Went upstairs, introduced him to the boys, and everything that left his mouth was what I needed to hear. His focus, the hunting of man, being evil, doing evil deeds to evil people, everything he said, he'd drop out these little one-liners that we'd be doing CQB, and he'd whisper it, stay evil. Stay evil? And he's like, we're hunting humans, stay evil. Okay. All these little mindset, little switches he would start to drop. And then you'd get him on the flat range, and he would burn down everybody. At that level, for guys that aren't in the military that don't know, when you get to be that senior, you're not supposed to be the best dude. Because now you're managing people. You're
right.
not supposed to be the best in a house. Like, I'm supposed to be the best in a house, and he's running circles around my ass. He can process information so much faster. His presentations, his dynamic nature, everything he's doing is so well done. You can't ignore it. You just see him, you're like, holy shit. And he came out, takes his shirt off, he's in shape, he's in the gym, he's pushing the mindset, he's covered in tattoos, and he is just fostering this culture that I am just spoon feeding, dude. And it was really my first time, inside of those 8 years where I had the role model, the one I've been looking for this entire time. And once you get him, what do? Fucking mirror him, dude. Whatever he's doing, whatever he's drinking, whatever he's eating, whatever his fitness routine is, just adopt it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what you want to be like. He's giving you the roadmap. Just jump on the same path and chase his ass to the inline. That's it. Just keep going. Whatever he's doing, just do it. I don't know how to make this any better, but he's better than me. I'm just going to do what he does, and that'll get me better. And by God, if it didn't, dude. He came in and he'd look at the way they put out CQB and our tactics and our SOPs, and he'd come back and he'd just rewrite the whole thing. He's like, we ain't doing that. We're not? And he's like, no. And he'd explain it in such a way, and I think that was like my first intro to knowledge transfer, is he could explain the why so crystal clear. You can't ignore it. He just said, he's like, would you really do that? Like, knowing there's a guy in the room, I was like, oh, no, I don't want to. And he's like, exactly. You have to do what you would really do. You're a human being. You're a physical vessel. You know, navigating through time and space. You have kids. You have wives. Like, we all have these things. Like, those intangibles can't be ignored. We have to live like we're human beings that can live and die like that. And it just made sense. And, you know, we started jumping more. And we started flying in the wind tunnel. Just everything we did, he was the best at. It's like, how are you so good at all this?
Mm-hmm.
And he said it. He's like, because I live it. It's the only thing I have. And he'd say it. And I kind of adopted it. And, you know, I won't point the blame at him, but I kind of will. He's like, I sacrifice everything for this. Sacrifice my marriage, my relationship with my kids, because the job and the profession deserve it. And when I'm retired, when I'm done, I'll go back and I'll be a full-time husband or father. But right now, this deserves every ounce of my full attention. And he was right. And as soon as I did that, it was like I unlocked level 2. You just had to have somebody who had walked the path before to show you, just to flick your switch. And now I talk about dials, but it was literally a flick of the switch. I can't be doing this anymore. I have to be leaned in. I have to be focused all the way. And we started gearing up for that workup. And the moment he dropped in, it was like everybody elevated 10 notches. As soon as he came in, it was like, you talk about like the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Like one person can control the entire temperature of the room. So we're not being a thermostat. We're not bouncing off the temperature control.
Yeah.
We're a thermostat. We're controlling it. And that's what he was. He was a thermostat, man. And it was a pleasure to watch him work. And, you know, we got through that. We got on a really good target set. You know, we're geared back up to go to Iraq. We've got all the funding. We've got a Ranger element attached to us. I mean, CAG's in the same camp. 2 SAS is in the same camp. And it's like, okay, dude, here we go. We start spinning up. We finally get overseas. And it has all the makings to be the best deployment you could ever want to do. All the assets, strikers, helos, CV-22s, I mean, the Ranger blocking force, and we were just going out every other night. And sorry to say this, but the Rangers fucked us, even though I love them. And it ain't their fault. It's part of politics, man. But we were basically, I don't know, 20, 30 days into this thing. We've been banging them out back and forth. And they go out on a raid. We were kind of flip-flopping back and forth. We'd go out, they'd do cordon for us. They'd go out, and we'd be QRF for them, kind of back and forth. And they go out and they hit a target. Rightfully so. When there's a bad dude with a gun, they shoot him. And it turns out to be some Sheikh's son-in-law or the Sheikh's son, and he goes ballistic.
That can't be good.
Can't be good. And they shut us down. And they shut us down for a week. He's like, hey, nobody's going out for a week. This thing's getting really political. Like, we've got to slow down. Well, that week turned into 2 weeks. But it was every single day. We'd come in for the first brief. He's like, hey, we should be good to go tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be lifted. We'll be going out. So we're looking at all these targets. We're planning. We're doing all the route studies. We're doing everything. He's like, tomorrow. And for a young, 22-year-old kid, whatever I was, that was a very hard thing for me to stomach. Even though I'd been around for a little bit, the new guys getting apprehensive, all the old guys, like, we're starting to lose motivation. We're like, what in the fuck is happening? Like, what do you mean? And then it went from tomorrow to next Friday. Manny, we did that for 90 consecutive days.
They put you on ice.
Nothing for 90 days.
Jeez. And for you guys with your tempo, that's got to be an eternity.
Bro, you were just dragging this beautiful broadsword you've made for the last 10 years, and you're just dragging on its blade down that shitty concrete to the chow hall. Flip it over, drag it back. Flip it over, drag it back, just dulling your blade every day. So we did that for 90 days, and probably about the 40 to 50 day mark, Barrett essentially had enough, and he's like, okay, fuck this. Like, we're going to start training. We had some little CQB house we had on there, so we do CQB straight into flat range. We basically made it part of our workup cycle. So we'd all wake up in the morning, we'd all lift, we'd go to the kill house, do a couple hours there, we'd hit the flat range, we'd come back, we'd watch movies over and over and over. So at least now we're not stagnant. At least now we're still polishing. And around the 90-day mark, Barrett comes in with staff and our troop commander, and he's like, fellas, we're over this shit. They're not going to let us work here. We're going to be stuck here for a long time. We're going to lift and shift this entire thing. We're going to throw it on the flatbeds, and we're going to jump in strikers, and we're going to drive to Bakuba to fob Warhorse.
How far was that?
I don't remember off the top of my head, a couple hours maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And we pull up in there, and we actually took over a base that the command used to have. And, you know, you pull in this compound, you're seeing all the huts, and because I'd grown up in the teams, a lot of the guys that had died before, you see the deployment pictures, and it's in that camp. Like, they're around that fire pit. That's their gym.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're inside of the same thing. So it felt like home. Like, you're sleeping in guys' beds and all that kind of stuff. And it was super cool, and we got on a really good target set and really started to pick up momentum and going out every night. And, you know, it really got to show you all the assets. And, you know, for me, it was everything I ever wanted. It wasn't ultra kinetic every single night, but because of Barrett and the meticulous nature and the way we were doing the targets, I probably learned more on that deployment than I have on any other one, because I was just spoon feeding everything he was saying, and it really put me on my ass for a little bit. Like, if I never would have met him, if he never would have came in here, where would I be? And I look back at it now, like, if he never would have walked in at high bay, and we would have kept with the original two dudes, where would I be at right now? Probably not sitting here. Like, he truly changed my life. He changed my entire perspective on everything. So, you know, we're chipping away at that thing, and the whole time I'm mulling this thing over. Like, I want to screen, I want to do this. I've already screened. Now I've screened positive, and now I'm just talking to B-Rad. I'm like, what's the training? What do I need to prepare for? What do I need to do for this? And he basically mapped out the whole progression for us. Like, flat range needs to be this. Your CQB needs to be this. Your jumping, your wind tunnel time, all of this. This is what it is. And we really started training for it. Like, while we're on deployment, like, really getting philosophical with it. Like, how far are you willing to go? That ultra commitment, like that burn the ships moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's no plan B for me. I'm going all the way. And that's what I always said. I just want one day in selection. And if I don't make it, that's cool. I just want one day. I want one day to see if I'm good enough. I kind of took that entire mindset all the way through, and I thank Barrett for that. So now, you know, we always talk about the role model thing now with guys, and when you have that ability to be that role model for someone else and you don't know how to do it, just develop that little Herculean figure in the back of your mind. How would they talk? How would they look? What's their physical presence like? How do they perform? How do they articulate their speech? How do they make the group feel? How's their energy level? All those different things. You have to make yourself that guy, because you never know who's looking at you to be that role model. A lot of times guys don't realize they are that role model for somebody behind them, and then they lose focus, and they start to fizzle out, and they start to die out, and lose motivation. It's like, for anything, you got to foster that motivation for that dude. And that's what Barrett did for me. That's what he did for everybody else. I'm just so thankful I had the ability to work under that guy. It changed my life.
Well, let's rewind back to the previous platoon chief before Barrett. How was that environment like, as far as the culture itself?
I'll tell you. There's a thing in the teams, and I know SF has it. I know we call it the E5 Mafia. It's like that middle management. You've been here for 2 to 6 years or whatever. You're not in charge, but you're like that middle management. You're kind of like the barn boss. Yeah, you're the ringleader of the E5 Mafia, and I was definitely the ringleader of the E5 Mafia. And I came back from a trip. I forget where I was, and I had just gotten my arm done. And I walked in. Platoon chief is sitting there. Katie introduces me. Steph's in there. And I walk up and I was like, hey, what's going on? I'm DJ. Literally shakes my hand, looks at my arm and goes, do you have a chit for that? Do I have a what? Like, did you file a special request chit to get tattoos below the elbow? And I looked at him and went, and I looked over at Steph, and his eyes kind of got real big, and he went, no, I didn't. And he's like, okay, we'll have to talk about it later.
Oof.
I walked right out of there, walked right in Steph's office, and I went, what the fuck is that? And he went, it's going to be a long 2 years, man. I ain't going to make it with him. And he didn't make it very long. Like, that kind of culture, like, that's what you're worried about right now. Like,
right,
you
small
know the
stuff.
Platoon, you know the platoon you just rolled into. You know what we just survived. You know what we just came back through. And that's what your focus is? Do I have an administrative chit to get a tattoo below my elbow? That's what your focus is? Nah, dude. That ain't the culture I want to be a part of. That's not the culture we want to be a part of. And, you know, steal that line from Brad Gary. Culture eats strategy for breakfast every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best strategy in the world. If it goes against the culture, it's never going to work. And that's what he was. Like you're beating on a war drum that nobody here wants to hear because it doesn't matter.
Because I would imagine, as a special operations unit, you guys have set rules, but still, in some sense, there's some things that are kind of loose
Yeah.
in terms of tattoo standards, for example. And for someone to come in and do that, it's almost like the hall monitor waiting for you.
Oh, I mean,
How did they get in there to begin with?
time?
Just time.
Stick around long enough, you'll get a shot.
Okay.
But I mean, sideburns, grooming standards, mustache links, hair
Right.
links, like all that kind of stuff. And that's where I was very vocal when I was young. And I probably shouldn't have been, so I don't recommend this to everybody. But, you know, we'd have a guy who'd come in here bitching about sideburns. He's like, your sideburns below the middle of your ear. You're out of regs. I do get that. I do get that. But you're also 60 pounds overweight.
You're out of ranks.
You're out of regs.
Right.
So which one matters more? Mine doesn't affect my performance, but yours does.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be the example for everybody else to mirror. And you look like that. Explain it to me.
Right.
Like, you can affect that. I can take a razor and take it up 1/4 inch and shave them off. You can't do anything with that. And that's where you start losing respect. Like, that's what you care about? What about you? You represent us all.
Mm-hmm.
Do it well. And you can't. That's why I like Barrett. Barrett lived it. And
When
he
he-
represented the group very, very well.
Right. When he walked in, you said it was like an aura about him. Is that something quite synonymous with command guys when the white side sees him? Like, oh, that's the NFL. I'm Pee Wee Little League right now.
For me, it was.
Yeah.
I think because I was an idealist and I grew up in it, it's like, you know, everybody to me is in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what team you're at, no matter how long you've been there, you're a new guy, you just got drafted. Now there's teams amongst teams, so it's almost like, yeah, you're in the NFL. They're on the Patriots. Back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like, they're a dynasty, and I wouldn't be a part of the dynasty. It just is. Like, but for me, it's very different. Like, when you see them, like Barrett, he had an aura that orbited around him at 3 feet. And when you got next to him, you could feel it. Like, I felt better when you were around him. And that's a lot of stuff we talk about now. Like, when I'm around you in close proximity, do I feel better or worse? When you walk into a room, how's it make me feel? How's it make the collective feel?
Yeah.
When he walked in the room, it was like, oh, shit, B-Rat's here. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Like, other guys come in, you're like, just waiting for you to leave the room. Like, that's not a good cultural fit. It's not what people want to be around.
I mean, that's contagious.
It is. And that's not in special. That's everywhere, dude. I
Yeah.
don't care if you work in a bakery shop, you work at Starbucks, you're a diesel mechanic, you're a police officer, a fireman, a special
Yeah.
operator. It's all the same. Like, your energy levels do matter, and people say it. And once they feel it and they feel that negative aura, they don't want to be around it.
Yep.
It made me hyper aware of it. Like, how I make people feel, how my energy levels are, and can I control it? Do I need to back it off or dial it up? You got to be able to hover it.
The training methodology between the white side and the command side when Barrett started teaching, was that an eye-opening experience for you guys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Up until Barrett, no one ever said the phrase self-preservation. Nobody ever said it. He was so articulate about it. And he talked about a lot of stuff I talk about now, like natural human reactions. Like, if this happens, this is what you will do. And then you pressure test it in training, and you do it. You're like, that's what humans do. Now, if you know that, I need for you to back up 2.5 feet to give him the ability to jump out of there if he gets a face full of something he doesn't like. Oh. But because if you're inside of those 2.5 feet and he goes to jump back, he's going to smack you.
Yeah.
You're going to push him into the door frame. Now he's stuck. Okay. Anticipate his next move. This is chess, not checkers. And he was the very first person I ever heard say that about CQB. Chess, not checkers. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's right, dude. Like, he's right. Being able to navigate that human terrain, all the physical terrain, he was just very, very masterful at it. And I don't know, man, if I could shove a USB drive in the back of his head and download all his information, just upload it to other people, I'd make you 100% better. Everybody. He was... in my opinion, out of everybody I've worked with, if I only had to work with one other dude again, Barrett would be one of my first calls.
Yeah.
To this day. I don't care if that dude's 75. Mindset alone, I'd steal him. He was perfect, dude. I mean, he still is. Yeah. Yeah, Barrett's a man. Changed my life.
When you guys went to your deployment, how was your anxiety level? Knowing you're getting back into it after the last one that was a little bit of a mess.
Not as bad as you would think. I feel like I compartmentalized it really, really well, but I also did that on purpose to not think about it. But then the IEDs were so bad, and we were driving a lot. And that was really where the anxiety came from. Like, if I can't get out of this striker and they just blow me up, I don't want to die like this. That's really where the anxiety was. Once you got out of the truck, I've never felt more confident. I mean, we ran well, dude. I mean, had a bunch of new guys on the team too. That shit didn't matter. Like, we ran really, really well. But he created a culture that fostered that. I mean, we were a free fall assault team. That's all we did. Didn't care about anything else. All the things that you complain about, the paperwork, the administrative side, that wasn't on his forefront of his mind at all. He's like, none of that shit matters. None of it. You get killed in the first threshold, that's a serious issue. Let's hammer on all the hard skills. Let's get this completely polished, and then we'll work on the admin side later. And that's exactly what we needed. Especially for me coming back from that one. I'm not going to say I was gun shy, but I was definitely a little apprehensive.
Right.
Just not knowing. Like, that was a really good second deployment. It ended on I don't want to say a low note, but I mean, that's a hard one to bounce back from.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you have a crazy parachute malfunction, and then you don't get the jump for 6 months. Your very next jump, that's the only thing you have to go back on. It's like, I didn't get any softballs up until then. It was just that, fly home, and then just training. It's like, I haven't stepped back into an active threshold since then. Like, now it's on the forefront of my mind. But I thought I did a pretty good job compartmentalizing it. But it wasn't easy. It took active participation.
Before you guys got put on ice for taking out that Sheikh's son, how was your tempo?
Good.
Work tempo.
Oh, busy. I mean, you got there because you had all the tier 1 personalities there, so you were basically just sharing target decks. So if the Army guys couldn't go out, they'd hand it over to us. If we couldn't take it, 2-2 would take it. If we couldn't take it, the Rangers would take it, and we were just sharing. So, I mean, and we were basically, they had a target line they were going after. They're going to hit these top 2 tonight. We're going to hit the 3 and 4. And then we just kept going over and over. And it was great, man. Like, it was super fun. Some of the best targets I've ever had, some of the best breaching I've ever had was on that target or on that deployment. I mean, some of the duplex structures and just the areas they were in they were so complex in nature that, I mean, on white light reclear, we'd get done and breachers taking pictures of the breach scene and all that stuff. Like, we just walk around just filming the floor plan. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Stairwells a double back. They connect in the middle, Jack and Jill, like, just weird stuff you've never seen before. Holy shit. Like,
Construction didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense. And then it'd be like a block party. You just hit house after house after house, just chasing this dude down. It's like, it was very challenging, but very eye-opening to see how the guys at the highest level do it. It was great, man.
Yeah.
But busy.
Busy.
Yeah. Busy until they shut us down. And once they did, like, you're talking about pulling the wind out of your sails, man. Like,
oh, I bet.
I mean, we've been jamming on this thing for 2 years. Like, we are primed and ready to go. And now 90 days of nothing. Like, you're talking about being a Zen master at Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Madden. Like, 3/4 of the team, that's all they did. They'd link them all up playing Halo, and I don't think we had Call of Duty back then, but like all the different games, that's all they do. We'd wake up, we'd lift, we'd eat. There's no brief because we ain't going out. What are you going to do now? Just don't get in trouble. Don't fight anybody. Don't be over there messing with anybody. Just stay to yourself. We'll do movie nights at 8 p.m. We'll do a second lift, and we'll all go to bed. Okay? We had to completely change our hours because we went from sleeping all day to just waking up at like 7:30 at night to now we got to be on full daytime hours.
You're on a day schedule.
Yeah, because now there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And then when you shift, now it's all back and forth.
Yeah.
So now it's all vampire hours. So it's kind of hard to get on your rhythm after a while, but just like any deployment, just find your routine and stick with it. Everything else will iron out in the wash. Yeah, I mean, it took a little bit.
Making that call, Barrett making the call of having you guys train while you're waiting, Was that like a saving grace for you?
Oh, it was for me for sure, because I was losing motivation fast, dude. And
Yeah.
because me and probably 4 or 5 other guys had already screened and been picked up. So, I mean, we started the conversation early, like, can I go home? Like, can I go home and train? Because we're going to sit here and not do shit for 180 days. I don't want to sit here. I can go home and I can really get ready for the selection, or I can just sit here and be miserable. And I'm glad we waited out, but I think that was his way of, okay, we got to keep him busy. Keep him busy, but keep him busy with something that actually makes him better and is actually going to buy down the risk component for the area that we're in. CQB, shooting, fitness. That's all we did. And it worked, dude. Like, mental health back up, morale's back up. Even though it sucked, it's like, they're paying us to be here. We've got every movie on earth, every series that's ever been made. We can watch it anytime we want to. Got a decent chow. We've got a kick-ass gym. We've got great mentors left and right. I mean, got the guys from the Army. You got 2-2 right there. You just watching them in the chow hall. It's like, you're absorbing that too. You're absorbing that professionalism. Now you're just trying to re-foster it so you feel like one of them.
I'm assuming your chow hall is compartmentalized for SF units only. It's not like a.
Oh, I mean, your support guys go in there too, but yeah, I mean, it's just us.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah. What during these idle times, what were your favorite shows?
Oh, we'd go through All the Shield with Vic Mackey.
Oh, that's good.
Love that one. The Wire, Rescue Me, Californication, stuff like that.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but just something you could sit down and, I mean, I can watch TV longer than anybody else I've ever seen. I'm like, better grab a piss bottle, boys. We're rolling them. Just keep going. Like, oh, I got to take a piss. Like, oh, just fucking hold it. Just hold it. Like, I mean, we make a big push. Like, all right, everybody break. We're all going to go get to-go box. We'll come back and we'll eat it here. And just, I don't know, man. Like, for me, I enjoy being surrounded by people, even though I'm kind of an introvert. I like being around people, and I like people doing the exact same thing together. It's like, you know, that community bonding. We're all laughing at the same thing. We're all getting the inside jokes. We're all stealing one-liners that Dennis Leary says, and now we say it later, and we all get it because we're all watching together. Those little micro wins can't be ignored.
Well, those are bonding moments.
They are, dude. Yeah. Like sitting in a 15-passenger van on a 9-hour drive, like that brings the culture and bonds it together. It just does. Like those little intangibles, man, it does wonders for the group.
Yeah. And
that's why I love it. And, you know, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. That's why I like the East Coast so much more. Because there's not a bunch of distractions. There's not a bunch of California 10 models running around here. There's no Hollywood. There's no surf. There's no Red Rocks. There's no mountain biking. There is flannels, Copenhagen, and CQB, cousin. That is all you get on the East Coast. And when you get people that only like to do that, what else is there? We're going to wake up in the morning, we're going to eat, we're going to lift, we're going to shoot, we're going to do CQB, we're going to eat again and go home.
Yeah.
We're going to get paid to do it too? Oh, cousin, let's go. That's all we wanted to do. And it was great, man. And we went down there to Bakuba. That was even better. It's like, well, now we get to do the exact same thing. And it felt like when we moved bases, the administrative bullshit got really, really slimmed down. And we really just felt like a strike team. I was like, what are you doing right now? Like, drinking coffee, watching Kill TV, studying the maps. He's like, hey, something popped. We're going an hour and a half. I'm like, cool. Not running around, not frantic. Just go knock on doors. Hey, we're gonna meet in the team room 15 minutes. We're gonna do a Frago. Cool. They'd hit pause on our game. They'd walk in and we get the brief. He's like, all right, we got an hour and a half. 45 minutes. We'll do gear checks, comm checks. Cool. Like there wasn't big spin up because we were already so primed because that's what we talk about, the reality of your reps versus training reps and real world and, you know, trying to put on like a dog and pony show. I felt like that third platoon was so built around the actuality of doing the job that by the time you got overseas, it felt like everything else. Before, it felt like a lot of dog and pony for the training cadre and the leadership that would come out, and then you do the hit, and it felt okay, but it felt forced. When you got overseas, it just felt like it's just us. There's nobody to impress out here. Self-preservation. We're doing the whole thing as a team, and I loved it, dude. Like, even though we had a 90-day stand down, I learned more on that third deployment than I probably did on any other deployment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot on how to compartmentalize, recenter my focus, put my priorities in alignment. Like, what do I really need to be doing right now? Like, how can I best affect the group?
Mm-hmm.
Is it positive mindset, a positive outlook? Is it positive energy levels? Is it just my physical performance? Is it how I breathe? Is it how I wear the patch? Like all that difference, it all comes into play. And I felt like that third deployment really gave me the legs to figure it out on my own through a positive role model with Barrett.
How was that working with him for the first time on a mission or on a hit?
Cool as the other side of the pillow, man.
Yeah? Do you expand on that?
He'd see this shit to me. Like, we'd get highs and lows, like, we'd get this target set, and, like, you know, there's 12 dudes on site, they get RPGs and PKMs and S-Vest, and they're going to fight to the death, and you're like, oh my god, we're fucking going. And he'd just look at me and go, even keel.
Mm-hmm.
Not high, not low. In the middle. If it gets good, stay even keel. If it gets bad, stay even keel. Don't let it dip you, don't let it raise you. Flatline the entire way, emotionless. Just act. Just act. And it's hard to do. Like, as you get some of these targets, you're reading, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be the best target we've ever done in our life. And you get there, and it's a dry hole, and you're like, fuck! He's like,
yeah.
Even keel, dude. It'll come. Like, don't chase it. Highs and lows. Stay in the middle. Even keel. And he was right, man. And, yeah, just take a page out of his book. But it was, oh god, it was fucking awesome. Yeah, man, like, you talk about people you can clone. If I could make 50 of him, I could take over the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely a motivating factor for you to join the command.
Oh, 100%, dude. 100%. Yeah? Oh, my God. Like, the unit was a big show back then.
Yep. Remember that.
So we'd always fuck with each other. We'd call this guy Betty Blue, that guy Snake Doctor, and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Because Barrett was from the command, we'd always flip him some shit. Like skull and crossbones on stuff. So every time he'd walk by, we'd do one of these. He wouldn't see it. He'd catch us a couple times. Like, I mean, like, we fucking loved him, dude. We just did, like, everybody. Like, when he walked by, you're like, fucking B-Rat. God damn it. Oh, my God. You see him in the house, and you're like, did you see that? Like, oh, God. I mean, he just would. Like, he'd go out and he'd shoot, and you're like, how is he so much fucking better than us? And he'd break it down. He'd break down grip, his presentation, his holster draw, just everything. It was so articulate, and he was such a good instructor. But because he, you know, he actually did the thing all the time. It's like, I'm just going to do what he does, man. I'm just going to mirror him. I couldn't tell you the hours I spent just standing back, arms crossed, just watching him in every detail. The way he walked, the way he talked, the way he moved, the way he set up his kit, his sling, his optics, his laser, the pressure pads. I just sit there and just watch him. And then I just recreate it. I'm like, why do you put your pressure pad there? Oh, because when I switch shoulders, it gives me an easy way. I don't have to go up and up. Over and around to try to hit my pressure pad. Why don't you run a pressure pad in your white light? He's like, fucking white light ADs. Oh, that's a big deal. And he's like, a white light AD? He's like, oh, that'll get you shit canned. Pressure pad comes out, fucking wing that thing, putting on a push button cap. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Now what else? I do this in my night vision. I do this. It takes the rattle out of my Neurotis mount. All these different things. You're like, dude, like, you have to write a book. Or just sit down and let us just pick your brain. And that's what he would do. We'd sit down Indian style around his cage, and he would just do gear tutorials. Like, no one ever did that. I've been in the teams for 10 years, and no one's ever done that for me. Like, every single place of it. Like, why do you have this right there? He's like, oh, these are all the puck masks. I put them in my opposite side of my pistol. I do a single rubber band still. If you do two, sometimes they get hung up. Like, the why was in everything he did. Like, why do you have that? Why do you have that rubber band around your buttstock? He's like, oh, to stow my sling for vehicle work. Oh.
All right.
Well, why don't you do it like this? He's like, well, if you do two of them, it won't break away. It'll get fouled up. I do it with two, it gets fouled up. And he's like, I fucking told you. You got to do it with a single. That way when you pull it, it breaks free. If you do two and you pull from here, it gets bound up, and now you get 3/4 of the sling. Like, okay.
I mean, can you imagine the amount of experience that he went through and people before him went through to have those little golden nuggets, right?
That's what I'm saying. And we used to say in the teams, like, the guys dropping pearls of wisdom, better pick them up, boys. And we just sit there, and like it was a running joke. Barrett would start to talk, and you'd see guys just fucking around. He's like you open up your shirt pocket to catch the pearls of wisdom. Like, we'd do those hand signals when he would speak. Because everything he said, it was like Jordan Peterson, Andrew Huberman had a Navy SEAL baby, and he's sitting in front of you. Like, I can't believe you have that much information inside of your fucking head, dude.
Yeah.
And it was so easy to digest because it all made sense. It's what you thought, but you couldn't confirm because you hadn't done it. And nobody else is putting that out except for him. And he's like, this is how they all are. By God, he was right. When I checked in, there was just a shit ton of Barretts running around. I mean, he's a unicorn, no doubt. But that style, that philosophy, that methodology was very, very similar to everybody else I got to work with later on in my career. But yeah, I mean, he really set the foundation ultra high for me. Yeah, like I said, man, I don't know where I'd be without him. At the value of role models at that specific time in my life, you know. Had to falling out with the old man, you know, newly married, screening, trying to do all that different kind of stuff, and I thought he helped me navigate the gray very, very well.
Yeah.
And then he stayed around. He did a platoon chief right after, or a troop chief right after that. He was great, man.
So it's platoon chief, then troop.
Yeah, typically they make you leave and go to like training. I think he just stayed and did it, and then he ended up running our assault block later.
Gotcha.
For the teams.
I mean,
he revamped the entire thing.
So clearly, I mean, he's motivated you guys to elevate your game.
There's not a dude who's ever worked with him that won't say he's one of the defining figures in their adult life. Nobody.
Wow.
I mean, I've got to work with hundreds of people at this point, and I mean, if he's not number one, he's in my top 3 most influential people I've ever met outside of the team, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's the man.
Are guys like him a dime a dozen? Are they hard to find in the teams, or?
They're hard to find as well-rounded as he was.
Right.
Like being able to articulate it, explain it, understanding the why, and then living it throughout. Not letting your circumstances derail you, or a divorce or anything else. Like, he was really good. I mean, he's got his demons, dude. I mean, he was involved in some very bad shit in the teams, and he survived it. But I mean, he carried that with him a lot. It's the same thing. I mean, he's got a lot of mental scar tissue he's trying to navigate too. I thought he did an extremely good job at it. But Steph is the same way. I mean, I'd imagine, like, Steph lived through something that he was not supposed to live through. And then he immediately geared back up and went to Iraq with 2-2. And, I mean, he got a fucking Silver Star for that deployment. Took 2 rounds from an AK from like 4 feet away, killed the number 2 man. I mean, he killed 4 dudes in a room. I mean, like, they've been through a bunch of different stuff, and they'd all have little bits of scar tissue they're trying to work through.
Mm-hmm.
But when you came on target, I mean, that was one of my fondest moments of stuff. We got in this big contact one night, and I look out in the street, and he's walking around just in a big-ass circle, and bullets are just winging past him, and he's just 2-hand push-a-talking it. He reminded me of Tom Sizemore on Black Hawk Down. Everybody else is ducking.
He's just standing there.
And he's just walking around, just sitting there. I'm like, Steph, get the fuck over. And he's like,
damn.
Didn't care. He just didn't care. It was like he knew they weren't going to hit him. It was weird.
It's like fearless, but
like setting the tone, like,
yeah,
I'm not running from these fucking people.
Yeah.
And that's the way he was. And then you'd watch Barrett move, like, on the target. We'd get right up there, we'd start to do the assault, and you'd watch him go, and it looked like a ninja, like gliding across, ninjas on ice. That's what it looked like.
Ninjas on ice.
Watching him move around this target, you're like, God damn, dude. So a lot of the way I move around the house, I stole from him. Like, the way I move is the way he moved. And yeah, it's one of the high points of being able to mirror people. You just sit there and watch them over and over and over. How they articulate their feet, how they generate force into the ground, the snap presentations, all the different stuff. Like, once you see it, I can do that. I just have to watch it more. I have to watch it more, and then just try to recreate it. And then when you and him start moving together, it's like we're just flowing.
That's a ballet.
Dude.
It's so fascinating from the outside looking in, all the small minutiae of defined little details, like walking and gliding on surface and all these things that people overlook. It's like, oh, wow, well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to do it to where it becomes second nature, to where you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So the way I walk is the way I walk when I do CQB. That's the way I move. I sink my stance. I keep my feet low to the ground, heel toe. I feathered approach, so I don't make a bunch of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Stole that from him. It's like, I don't need to be stomping around this house. I don't need to be doing that. I need to be quiet.
Yeah.
I need to be in control of all the decimals I create.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Put that pearl in your back pocket. Okay. Why? This is why. Oh. Oh, okay. Because they're humans and they have ears and they can hear you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh. Well, what happens if they hear bumping at night? Well, what would you do? I'd get out of my bed, I'd go crack my front door and take a peek. So will they. Oh. Okay. And then we talk about locking on the target and all these different things. Like everything, when he would give you the why, it's like a Post-it note. You're like, such a simple concept. Like, why are we not picking that up?
Yeah, yeah.
Just need one person. Once they drop it, everybody gets it. And you're like, that all made sense. Everybody tracking on that? Like, uh-huh. And then you just execute. It's great, dude.
Dude, the light bulb moments must have been insane.
I've never had more light bulb moments than being surrounded by Barrett.
Yeah.
Ever. Everything he said, you're like, I mean, it's no different than Jordan Peterson. Like, when he says a couple things, like Andrew Huberman, you're like, that's the most logical thing I've ever heard. Yeah. Because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. Now just live it. Now just pretend like it's the only thing inside of your orbit. Okay? Well, how do you do that? Compartmentalize everything else that isn't. How do you do that? Practice. Okay? And then he just would. You'd see it. I mean, he's got such a cool story. And I'm going to ask him if he'll come in here and sit down and do a talk, because I think the dudes on Patreon or whatever would learn so much. Like, not even talking tactics, like talking mindset development. And that's a universal mindset application.
Yep.
If you're a banker, a baker, an entrepreneur, a cop, a fireman, an NFL, NHL player, his mindset installs work for everybody. It makes you that 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the third deployment. After you guys got iced, you went to Bakuba.
Yep.
Tempo was high.
Tempo was high. And then a lot of learning curves. Like the CV-22s, the Ospreys were new on board, so we had to do the whole training cycle with those guys. I was a team leader at the time. I had a Mustang officer that I was working under named Corey. Loved him. I'd done 2 platoons with him. He was on that same one with Jay Redmond, so he had fleeted up. And, learning curves. Shit you don't know. I'm brand new. I'm a Hearst cast master. I'm controlling fast ropes and rappelling. We've got to get them all qualled up. And we're doing elevators with the CV-22s.
Mm-hmm.
The rotor wash is so crazy when it blows out of the back of there. And anybody who's ever been on a CV-22, you can attest this. We couldn't figure out how much weight to put into the bottom of the bag. Because when you actually drop the rope, the rotor wash would blow the rope out, and then it would go down. So your first initial push until you got to get on the rope, you would have to swing your legs out all the way and hook the rope, and then start to slide, and your weight would pull it down. And don't quote me directly, I thought we had to put 120 pounds in the bottom of the rope to get it to go straight vertical.
Keep it from blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I mean, those things were sketchy, dude. I think that was their first operational deployment. Was that 2008, 2009? I think it was their first operational deployment to Iraq. And, a lot of them, they flew in the blind. I thought they took a mix between MH-53 pilots from the Marine Corps and C-130 pilots and put them both together in the seat. So the helo pilot would lift it off. They'd hand controls over to the AC-130 guys. They would take it off. But, I mean, some of this stuff, dude, like when you would give them a grid and they're going to land, if you're on that grid, they're going to land on top of you. They're in the blind. From 80 feet coming down, they're in the blind. Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's very different from us. We're used to 47s and Blackhawks and some other stuff. And so, I mean, when those guys drop the door down, they do it within 6 feet of you. They drop it down, you jump on the bird, you take off. 22 is very different. They're coming directly on top of you. So the first couple times we're sitting there, set up for the helos to come in, and you're watching them come down, and the rotor wash is just so, I mean, you can't see shit. And nobody's wearing eye pro. I mean, we finally got to the point where we clip them on the back of our helmet and put them on for a minute, but it's a total brownout. You can't see shit. And you finally get a clearance, and they're 25 feet above you. They're going to land on you. It's like, scatter! We'd all blow out. That thing lands. Now we're trying to come back in. And the way the propellers are, it looks like they have a little bit of forward throw to them. Mm-hmm. So the propeller wash coming off the backside is so strong, You basically have to jump through the rotor wash to get in line with the ramp and then run in. You'll watch guys try to crawl through this rotor wash, and they can't do it, especially if they're light guys. I mean, it's really kicking up a lot of shit. So we'd be able to use those, and I remember flying on one of these targets. You clip an ICS, you're talking to the crew chiefs, you're hearing the pilots, and I only did it a handful of times. I unplugged my very first time. It scared the absolute shit out of me. It's like, ting, 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 ting. He comes over, he's like, Bill, what the fuck is that? He's like, I don't know. Johnny, check it out. He's like, oh, fuck, got a lot of vibrations in pedals. Like, I just unplug him, like, fuck this. Nope, just sit back and like, what's going on? Don't worry about it. Just wait. I mean, it was sketchy, dude. And we were on those things a lot, man. So we'd have TF-160 come in, they do cycles through, get to fly with those guys for a little bit. And it was so cool to see guys at that level. The guys at 22, now the guys that fly CB-22s are fucking awesome. They have so much experience now. They're so much better than they were in 2008-9. But when you see the guys from the 160 that flies, guys like Al Mack and those dudes, it's at a different level. Like, it's hard to quantify until you've been around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that guy flying that is Tom Brady. Tom Brady's flying your fucking helicopter tonight. Like, nobody's got more flight hours, nobody's got more combat experience, nobody's done more heroic shit than that dude, and he's flying you tonight. Guess we don't have to worry about the flight in. Jesus, take the wheel, baby. Like, you got it. Well, I'm throwing in Copenhagen, I'm pissing in bottles in the back here. I'm not even thinking about it. Vice getting into a newer airframe. Now it's like, anxiety is spiked. Now we got to get on and actually do the thing.
And I'm sure at that point, you guys have heard all the stories of the 22s malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to drive through IED Alley, or you want to jump on this sketchy-ass bird and try to land somewhere? It's like, let's take the sketchy bird. Let's do that.
And how was that driving through the alley?
It's nerve-wracking, dude.
Yeah.
It just is, man. Like, nobody wants to get blown up. You just don't. But then you see the SIG acts and just how many guys are getting hit by them. And, you know, every day you'd pull up, like, all the significant activity, how many IEDs, how many people were killed, how many guys were severely wounded and all that stuff. And you look at it and you're like, shit, that's our same route. Like, Can't do anything for it, dude.
Can't combat it?
You can with some electronic measures, but a lot of these guys are doing command detonated. Yeah. So they're watching you from 300 yards, and they've got some kind of marking system that right when you cross it, they hit it, the delay, they know where you'll be, and then they smack you. So if they're doing remote, there's nothing you can do, dude. I mean, you can try to jam it, whatever you're going to do, but a lot of times they're really, really smart. Mm-hmm. They'll go to a pressure plate, they'll bury it on the surface level of the ground, tires roll over it, whoa. And just got really lucky.
Because that was pretty prevalent.
Oh, Iraq was
back
terrible
in the day.
for
Yeah.
it. I never hit any in Afghanistan, same thing. But, I mean, I've talked to guys that were saying I'm trying to think of Helmand province. Like, that was the Wild West out there. And apparently they were riddled with IEDs. I never hit any, thank God. But when you talk to Jay, like, it was bad, man. It was bad. The IEDs, you know, it's one of those things like you can't control. And if you sit there and obsess over it long enough, chews away your confidence. And then it becomes the only thing you're thinking about. No, I'm not thinking about the target, how many people are in there, how many windows, where the doors. I'm thinking about, God, if I get blown up right now, what are we going to do? Like, I want that out of my mind. All I want to think about is actions on the objective. And I know that's fucked up, but for me, it had to be that way. Like, I don't want anything taking up bandwidth except for this. This is the only thing I can't affect. I can't affect the drive in. I can't drive the thing too. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't get upstairs and do a magic rain dance or pray to the seven gods that I'm not going to hit this IED. Like, we're in the back and just studying GRGs. All the pictures all the guys are going after, all the phrases you got to be able to say in Arabic or whatever you're doing. It's like, I'm just rehearsing that. Trying to get the plan together, head counts, and who's got specialty equipment, or the ladders extended, breaching charges prepped, like all that different stuff. That's what I want to be thinking about, not, God, I hope I don't hit an ID. I just compartmentalize it. Just don't think about it. Bury it way down and stack new fresh material on top of that. They have to sift through.
Is that a form of acceptance? Like, all right, if it gets me, it gets me.
Yep. And I mean, I can ask the boys, I can ask Cole, Joey, Jay, and the rest of them, see what they think, but that's what it was for me. Just accepting it. I can't control this. What are you going to do? Get in the truck. If it gets me, it gets me. If it doesn't, thank God. But I can't just sit here and just dwell on it all day because you're going out so much.
Right.
Like, it really does. It's a fun sponge, man. It takes the fun out of the job because now it's so much more stressful than it should be. It's already a stressful ass job. And now you start adding in stress you can't control, that I can't combat. It's like, what am I doing with this? Complacency kills, man. You see the signs leaving the gate and you're like, I'm not being complacent. I'm buried my head in the sand like an ostrich because I don't want to think about the thing I can't control.
Yeah.
I'll pull my head out when we get 5 minutes out, and then I'll start to focus on this one thing.
Yeah.
For me, it worked. I know a lot of guys did the exact same thing. Control the things you can't control.
Right. There's nothing you can do. Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
I remember you mentioned it before in the past. Like you guys would go out on a route, and they would throw things from overpasses. Could you share that?
Yeah, you see going on the highway, you've got the overpass that goes over the top. They would just line the top of it, and that was one of their SOPs. Like, they just have a bunch of civilians up there. So broad daylight, you'd be driving through, and you'd hear that, there's 55 people on top of this, and you're driving under the overpass, and you're doing whatever, and then ta-tink, ta-tink, one random dude would pull the pin on a grenade and
Jesus.
launch it over the top and try to drop it inside the turret's well. They were very successful at it for a long time. So every time we'd go in, we'd have a different procedure. We'd enter on one side, come out the other, and we'd kind of just do this big zigzag right when you went underneath it and try to mess them up.
What do you mean they're successful? They were able to drop grenades and...
Yeah. They never got us, but they got a lot of people. Talked to the Marines going down Route Irish in Baghdad. Yeah, dude. Oh, throwing Molotov cocktails, setting dudes on fire. Yeah, man. Dicey.
Is Route Irish a main road?
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming.
Yep. Yeah, it basically goes from the Grease Zone to, it's a huge long-ass stretch, but that was like the main MSR, main supply route we'd have to drive up and down. Yeah. And it was just riddled with IEDs. They were putting them in dead dogs on the side of the road. Just anything you could, they'd hide them. So you'd drive by and EOD guy would stop. You'd look over and, 50 yards away, there's some dog with wires coming out of its mouth.
Jesus.
Oh, shit. That's what they did. They'd shoot the dogs, cut them open, put an IED in it, run a command wire, and just sit there.
Did he attack dogs or kill dogs because you guys are affectionate towards animals, or
no? I think they do it just so it's just another piece of debris on the side of the road.
Okay.
Nobody cares about a dead dog. You don't look at it.
Yeah.
Bags of trash on the side of the road, just stuff that looked out of place. It was in a perfect spot for a reason, and then you'd start to catch on. They're very crafty.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I keep bringing up anxiety, and that's got to be another factor right there, initially.
Yeah, man, because at the end of the day, you're hunting them, but they're also hunting you.
Yeah.
And it's their hometown. Yeah. Like, they know exactly where to put this. They know exactly how shitty the roads are, how deep they have to dig, at what time they can repatch that thing, and you'll never know. It's kind of stuff they were very good at.
You got home field advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, the anxiety was it was something new to deal with. I think being that young, you don't really know what anxiety is yet. You just feel nervous. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, you can start to articulate it a little bit more, like, where's that nervousness coming from? Well, I have apprehension about hitting an IED. That's called anxiety. Oh, is that what that is? So that cell phone on vibrate in my sternum, that's what that is. I'm like, uh-huh. Okay.
Now you got a word for it.
Now you got a word for it, and you're like, oh, okay, but you don't share it.
Yeah.
You don't talk to anybody else. You just compartmentalize and bury it way down deep.
Yeah. And during the whole course of this deployment, were you ever expecting another big fight like you had in your second deployment?
Oh, yeah. That's how you ended it. So you imagine that all of them are going to be like
that.
that.
Right?
It's like when we talked to the new guys when they first came in, like, hey, man, I am not going to bullshit you. The chance of all of us making out of this deployment without losing a dude, getting somebody killed, or getting somebody shot to pieces are slim to none, dude. Like, historically speaking, every deployment we've done, we've lost guys and multiple guys getting shot. We lost all the guys on our first deployment in 05,
mm-hmm.
Lost a bunch of guys in 07, got a bunch of guys shot in 07. Now we're back here, and we're sending it hard, dude. Like, we're going. Like, we're full lean forward. And you just told them, like, just expect it, man. Like, this is a dangerous game. This is a two-way range we're playing on here.
Right.
I'm playing for keeps. And guys got it pretty quick. Guys could see it. And you could feel it, like, when you would do, like, bit TQ of the interrogation, you would see people who weren't true believers, and then when you saw a true believer, Like, that dude would saw your head off right now if you gave him a dull butter knife in 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's itching to kill you. And once you see it, you're like, oh, man, there's a whole bunch of you running around this country. I'm like, okay, I get it. And then you get on and you see kids that are scared shitless. Like, that dude's hiding an AK for his old man. Like, he's not an adversary. He's just a bystander. You start to read the human terrain a lot better.
How do you accept that fact that knowing that some of the bad guys are willing to die?
That's a hard thing to combat, man. It's like the kamikaze pilots in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Very hard to defeat an enemy who's willing to die to kick off the initial push.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll just blow myself up. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to pull a grenade and charge into a machine gun nest during World War II. I'm not doing that. I'm not blowing myself up, but they will, and it's very hard to combat. Like, at the end of the day, they'll just hide it. They'll walk out non-compliant, yank a pull pin, and blow themselves up.
That's it.
That's a very hard thing to get past, because you never know. Kids do it. Women do it. Old men, middle-aged, 10-year-olds, 14-year-olds, everybody in between, they can all do it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to see what they'll do to the kids, like, they'll strap an S-vest on your kids so fast and launch them out the front door. You'll bring them out. Boom. They just will.
It's common practice.
Yeah. Human shields, the whole thing, dude. Yeah.
And the Americans react to it. When they see a kid like that, I mean, the S-vest, I assume, is concealed.
Mm-hmm.
And Americans love kids.
Yep.
Candies, water, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they just draw them in and pop it.
Yep.
Terrible.
It is. And once you see the kind of their MO,
Yeah.
it's hard to accept anybody at face value.
Right.
You stop trusting everybody.
You got to be suspicious.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be. And then people will try to take their reality and overlay it there. Like, well, I'd never do that to my kids. He wouldn't do that. Yes, he would. He has done it. Like, that's part of their culture. Like, they'll sacrifice their kids to kill you. Like, that's how deep into the cause they are. And if you've never seen it because you grew up in Biloxi, Mississippi, or Chesapeake, Virginia, you've never seen violence like that, it's hard for you to imagine it. Like, there's not a scenario that's inside of my current reality where I'd put an S-vest on my 11-year-old and send her out in the courtyard to blow you up. Never. Wouldn't even enter my conscious thought.
Some next level stuff.
That's the first one they'll go to.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to shoot her. Let's send her out first. She doesn't even know. She's just walking outside.
Done.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they'll get the kids to do the dirty work for them.
It's terrible.
It is, but it really shows you how far people are willing to go. And if you're not willing to go further than them, like, how far are you willing to go? Further than you. Well, it's hard to go further than that.
I mean, they went all the way.
That's the whole way.
Yeah.
Now you're sacrificing your own family. Like, I'm willing to go the whole way, but I'm not going to fly my wife to Baghdad and send her in with an S-vest. So I guess I'm not willing to go the whole way. I'll take myself the whole way. We'll take the team the whole way, but we can't get past that. That's where the human aspect comes into. And I think that's what frustrates all the people that fought in the GWAT, Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, Yemen, all the other places, Syria. You're not going to give us the ability to fully win. You're not going to.
Yeah.
Because you want to win the hearts and minds.
I mean, that's got to be frustrating. And just the psychological effect of seeing that on a kid.
Because the danger is all the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to let us win. You're not going to give us the tools or the ROEs to actually be successful. We have to always be on the defensive.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work. In reality, that doesn't work, and here's why. Because they clack themselves off inside of 10 feet, you're dead.
Yeah.
What are you going to do now? Like, now we got to develop all new SOPs and TTPs to be able to deal with that one thing. And everybody's got that. Cops have that going on. All the military, every country, everybody's dealing with the exact same thing. Well, how are you going to combat that? We're going to have to go back to school. We have to figure out a way to get past that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do.
Were there any adversity that you faced during your third deployment, whether it's psychological, emotional, professional adversity, and how'd you overcome it?
Managing morale was definitely my hardest part. Because even though I had Barrett, I had a guy I worked later on in my career, Dan Luna, love that dude, and he talked about the seesaw. He's like, when op tempo goes up, morale and warfare can go down. Like, no movies, living on cots, eating MREs. As long as we're going out every night, nobody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
When operational tempo goes down, morale and warfare have to go up. Well, how many times can you play Madden and Call of Duty and Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Only so many hours in a day. How can you balance that out? Because they start to lose motivation. They're not really there. They're not going to be committed when we get on the ground. It doesn't matter if we're set in isolation for 90 days or 9 days. If they're not checked in, they're not checked in. And that was my biggest thing, is because I've never had to do that before. I never had anybody to show me how to do that seesaw approach until I had Barrett. So for a lot of it, I mean, you know, he's doing big movement stuff. I mean, he's doing executive level function stuff. I'm trying to manage my team. And a lot of those times I needed to go in there and just look for that mentorship, and I didn't know how to articulate it. I was in mirror mode. Whatever he would do, I would just do. But instead of walking in there like, dude, I got these 7 dudes, like, they're in a bad spot, man. Like, they're not checked in, they're not engaged. I don't know how to do it. What do I do? He just basically solved the problem for me by putting us back on a schedule. But maintaining morale and welfare was definitely a challenge on that deployment, because dudes were sick of it. And dudes didn't want to fucking be there. You were over. Like, we busted our ass for 2 years, because getting on a good deployment cycle, it's like a competition. We're all competing for the same deployment. You know, all these different troops. We finally get the banger one. It's like, this is the one we want. Now it gets taken away from us. And like, what do we bust our ass for? To sit over here? We didn't even do anything. I didn't shoot that kid's son. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, why are we being punished for this? He's like, oh, it's political. Like, I don't give a shit about the politics.
Right.
I want to go to work. And it's hard to realize that you're a political pawn at every level. No matter what unit you're at, no matter what fancy hat or pin you have on, you're a political pawn. And once I saw it, I fucking hated it, dude. And it was very hard for me to compartmentalize and not forecast that out to everybody else. I was pretty open. And I just say, this is fucking bullshit. And I'd get kind of a cross look. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, how long are you going to make us sit here?
Yeah.
90 turns to 120, 180 real fast, dude. How long are we going to sit here? He's like, it's not in my control. I'm like, fucking do something. Like, I don't understand. You know, I'm too young. I don't understand who's really pulling the strings. He's like, well, the Beltway's on a 4-day holiday, and this person's on vacation. He's golfing in Cuba or whatever. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of that, dude. Like, if you spin us up tomorrow, we are not mentally ready to send this.
Yep.
And I don't know how to articulate that across. I don't know how to rally the guys right now. I'm too young inside of my own experience to really be able to make it happen. You know, he ended up solving it for me, but I mean, that was probably the hardest thing, dealing with the mental adversity of just sitting there, knowing how polished and how ready we are, and we're not being able to go to work.
Right. That's
like,
gotta be frustrating.
I didn't sign up for this shit. And then that was the thing in the back of my mind, like, I've already screened and gotten picked up. I don't even need to be here. And that was the thing, like, me and Cole, we got picked up after our second deployment, and they condescended doing a third because I was so young. I think I screened when I was 21. Got picked up. I was going to do selection when I was 22. And they're like, you know, you're so young, dude. Like, you got plenty of legs. Just do another deployment. You know. And it basically turned into like, if Cole will do one, I'll do one. Okay, we'll both do one. As soon as we started that cycle and I got those 2 first platoon chiefs in, I was like, you motherfuckers, dude. Like, and then when I got Barrett, it's like, all worth it. We're all cool. We're good. We get overseas, 90-day stand down. I'm like, you motherfuckers. Like, I did not sign up to do this, dude. And we made up for it from the second half of deployment. It was totally cool, totally worth it. I'm so glad I stayed. But there were definitely times where I wanted to go home, dude. Like, get me the fuck out of here. I got a wedding right when we get home. I don't need to be here. If we're not going to work, we're just going to sit here. I can do CQB in Virginia Beach, dude. Get us out of here. I'm glad cooler heads prevailed, and we kind of rewrited the ship, but
yeah,
it's hard, dude.
Well, let's take a couple steps back. Was this you and Cole's first deployment together?
No, it's our third.
Your third together. You guys have been the same team the whole time. How was that working with Cole in combat in relation to how it is now? Like, is it kind of weird for you guys to look back at it and be like, man, we were in a shootout in X place, and now we're here hanging out? Like,
I never think about it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, dude, it seems like it's 1,000 years ago, and it seems like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, was there a sense of like surrealness in terms of like, man, I can't believe we were there.
Sometimes.
And here we are now hanging out with our kids,
yeah,
poolside cabana.
I mean,
at the water
sometimes.
park. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, sometimes.
yeah,
Like, you'll hear somebody say something like, "Oh, Iraq at this time," and I was like, "Yeah, I was there." Oh, this time I was like, "Yeah, I was there." Yeah, I was there.
yeah,
But it seems like so long ago that you don't ever think about it.
yeah.
Like I don't ever just sit back like, all the shit we did. I never think about it. I just like going to work.
How long was that their deployment?
6-7 months. At least 6.
Months.
I think it was a little bit longer because I think I went on the advance, the early deployment cycle, and then I think I stayed for like the last 2 weeks to changeover, something like that. Because I had we came back, I basically had 6 months to get ready to go to selection.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real rush for me to get back. And when we came back, we went admin mode and we just trained for 6 months to go.
So I'm getting this right. When you got back from your second deployment, you screened.
Yeah, we started the workup. We started the workup, and probably 3-4 months into the workup, they had an opportunity to screen. So I had to put in your package and do all that.
So for those who don't know, screening to get in a green team, can you kind of shed a little light on what that involves?
Yeah, I mean, you have to route a chit up through your leadership. I'd like to screen for special mission unit, and that gets farmed up. It's a big packet. You fill out everything. I mean, it's deployment histories, list of quals, injuries, service record stuff, awards, all that kind of shit, all your evals. That all goes in, it gets pushed over. They kind of sift through it. And if they like what they see, they give you an opportunity to come do a physical tryout. And that's a screen test.
And you guys did that before deploying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you show up and you've got all the set numbers. It's the only thing you do know. It's like you have to pass all these screen tests, max out as far as you can go. There's like the physical screening, so they get you in there, all the bumps, all the injuries, any surgeries you've had, anything you might have to do later. They do all that stuff, dental record checks. Then they go to a psych evaluation. It takes a day or so. They ask you 55 million questions, 10 different ways.
Yeah.
Just kind of see how you are, personality assessments, all that kind of stuff. They farm that out to everybody in the command. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Should we give them a shot? Should we not? And then you do a final oral board. You sit down and, they fire 50 questions at you, whatever they want to ask you. Personality stuff, operational stuff. How's this guy? How's that? How was working with this person? Just to kind of see how you are, like team guy to team guy. And if they like what they see, they send you an email or a letter in the mail or something a couple of weeks, a couple of months later. Some guys wait like 6 months.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're just waiting in limbo. And that's what sucks. I mean, I forget how long we had to wait, but I'll say it was 2 months. And you'll see somebody in the hallway and he's like, "You get your email?" I'm like, "My email?" He's like, "I just got mine, said I'm going." I'm like, run upstairs, check your email, and you're like, "I don't have one." Fuck.
Yeah.
2 days later, it's like, "I got an email." It's like, "Oh, I got a fucking email."
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool. Like, now like, I have a slot to go. I'm guaranteed 1 day.
Yeah.
And to me, that's all I ever wanted. I just wanted 1 day. Like, I want to see what the fucking hype is all about.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, you do this whole thing, and it's like, well, if you just really consolidate all the best of us and put us in one room, and that used to be one of the dudes, I want to be around that dude a lot.
Yeah.
If you tell me there's a whole place just filled with Barretts, like, brother, I want to go there. I just want 1 day. I want 1 day to see if I have what it takes, and I'll take it from there. But it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's harder than Buds, for sure. I don't think anybody...
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How hard was that in comparison to Buds?
Twice as hard as Buds.
Twice as hard as Buds. But to that same point, you've got guys that are trying to screen just for the opportunity to get onto the green team, right? To selection.
Yep.
But those guys you're working twice as hard, but they've got injuries as well.
You're older.
I mean, that demand on the body must have been insane.
I mean, we sailed under a lucky star, man. We had a strength conditioning coach over the team named Sean Holes. He ended up going over to the Eagles. Their strength science coordinator or something like that. He's a fucking savant, dude. If you haven't Googled Sean Holes, Huls, do that. Him and Vernon, if they had a baby, it would change the world. I mean, he is
superhumans,
dude. I can't say enough positive things about Sean Holes. Changed my entire outlook on life. He did. I mean, the sessions we would do to get ready once we came back from that deployment, prepping up, I mean, he set us all down in the room. There's probably 20 of us that are all trying to get ready to go. And he set us all down in the room, had all the screen test numbers, and went one by one. He's like, what do you want to weigh? Like, 215. How tall are you? 6'1"? How many times you want to, how many push-ups? Tell them a number. How many pull-ups? What do you want your run time to be? What do you want your swim time to be? Okay, they got a bodyweight bench press. What do you want your 5-mile run time to be? What do you want this to be? They go all the way through. He's like, okay, next. And went all the way down.
Okay.
All the way down. He's like, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to train 7 days a week. Focus recovery days, long run days. On Saturday and Sundays, we'd come in and we'd do like 12-mile conditioning runs at pace.
Jeez.
And just slowly but surely, faster and faster. He'd do running clinics where he'd film your gait. He'd put us in running bras to control your arm tempo, revolutions on your run cycles, heels, all of it. And he'd bring in the swim dude. He brought us in a swim coach to help us swim. How ironic is that?
Is this prior to the screen test?
This is once you have orders and you're training to go to actual selection now.
Oh, wow.
Did the diet. I mean, we'd be doing lactic acid threshold testing, so we'd be sprinting on this treadmill at an incline, VO2 mask on. We'd come off, he'd prick your finger, take blood. 30 seconds, go. 30 seconds, go. Just the whole
Like
time.
that, huh?
I mean, heart rate variability. We'd have heart rate monitors on, seeing how low or how high we get our heart rate, how fast we could drop it. So like box breathing.
Yeah.
So we do these crazy. He's like, we're pushing for 190, 190, 190. We hit 190. He's like, 5 seconds, go. And trying to drop your heart rate down. Because that's what it is. Like, they'll make you do this crazy physical push straight into the house. Go. Execute a good move. You're like, oh, shit. Like, I'm tasting blood in my mouth right now. We're pushing so hard. Now do CQB and make a good decision. Very hard to do.
I mean,
We trained day in and day out, but when we checked in to go, I hit every single number I wanted to. I was at the exact weight I wanted to be. Like, the same body fat percentage I wanted to be at. Everything, dude. It was the very first time in my life where I wrote down my physical goals I wanted to hit. I hit them all. No drugs, no booze, no performance-enhancing bullshit, no creatine, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just strict diet and strict training, focused recovery work. I mean, we were doing ice tubs. I mean, doing the whole thing. Normatex. I mean, before we had like the Theraguns,
yeah.
we'd have like a DeWalt drill bit with a golf ball in it.
Jeez.
Doing the whole. I mean, that's what you needed. And we showed up, dude. We did really, really well.
Chisel.
Oh, bro, I was 215. I think in the Biodex, I think I was like under 6% body fat.
Damn.
Oh, I looked like a fucking freak.
Were you like Drago, remember? And Rocky?
That's exactly what it was like.
That's great.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, young, carefree, not really bound with a bunch of injuries yet, but it was really cool to see.
Yeah, it's just the demand of someone who's already older, who's got some injuries perhaps,
Yep.
having to do harder work just for the opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to screen in.
Yeah.
But then you guys got roped into your third deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just try to maintain that baseline. Like, now we know that we're going to have to do this, so not cranking on the crazy weights, because that's usually what you do on deployment. You eat twice as much, you drink twice as much protein, you lift twice as hard, and you just sleep a lot. You try to grow, you try to get as big as you can on deployment. Now it's the opposite. I've got to be able to hold 5:30 to 6-minute miles for 5 to 8 to 10 miles. That's what I've got to be able to hold. I've got to be able to do 35 to 40 pull-ups from a dead hang. I've got to be able to do all these other things. Like, I can't be 240 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that 210 to 215 was the perfect weight. I was fast as shit, crazy height on box jumps and broad jumps and just explosive, like body weight bench and pull-ups with 45-pound plates. Like, he really got you dialed in, man.
That's cool.
But it sucked because once you saw that, you realized you couldn't maintain that. That was for a peak. And he was also really good at, like, if you think day one is, we'll say, May 1st. May 1st is day one. We don't want you to peak until July 4th. We want to get you over the initial hump. You peak, and it's a slow taper down, but it's not a drop. It's a slow plateau to a gentle taper because your baseline is so high. You at 80% is better than almost everybody else because you've been doing this for 12 months at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of fall from grace, like when you kind of take it back off, but it was super cool to see, man. Like, just proof in the pudding, over and over, just trusting it. And he'd do some very unconventional things that I was not a fucking fan of at all. And maybe because I was young, I trusted him. I mean, we do ones where, hey, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to do the same workout every single day, no screen test, and we're doing a screen test on the very last day. What's the workout? And he's like, kettlebell RDLs to goblet squats to kettlebell swings to something else. It's 5 minutes is as many rounds you could do every single day, Monday through Friday. Take Saturday and Sunday off. Do that for 2 weeks back to back. We did nothing else. I'm like, I don't think that's going to help my sit-ups, dude. And we go in and we crush the test. I'm like, why did that work? And he'd explain it. He's like, well, this is what it is. And you're like, well, okay. I'm trusting you on this. And he was right.
Were you guys ever worried after you guys screened and going on a third deployment that, hey, this could prevent me from going through green team?
That was one of my big fears. I was going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Not even like a cool hurt, like just hurt enough to where I miss it. And now I'm stuck in limbo. It's like, you know, you take one through the tib fib, like that's a hard injury to come back from. You blow a shoulder out, you blow a knee out, you do this, you do that. I was very, very cautious. Like I did not want to get hurt. I did not want to miss my opportunity.
It's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, paranoia for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. Like, I don't want anything to derail me from this.
Let me switch gears. Do you have a takeaway from your third deployment after it was done and it was time to come home? Like a learned lesson?
Stay even keel throughout. No highs, no lows.
No highs, no lows.
You got to maintain it. And a lot of that is through purpose-built compartmentalization. Don't focus on things you can't control. You're about to go hit some bang-up target that's going to be the second coming of Christ. Do not get excited over it because you get right to the ramp and they cancel it. Oh, now it's a fall from grace. Like, until we actually do the deed, we're not doing the deed. Until we actually get home, it's not over. Like, until we sit down debriefing with Copenhagen and coffee, it's not over. Even keel throughout. No highs, no lows.
When you say that, for my personal understanding, when you say even keel, do you just accept it as a matter of fact? Like, things are as a matter of fact.
Things are going to happen outside of your control, and you can't let the temperature of the room control how you are.
Okay.
They come in, they brief you on this badass target, you're going to go and you all get spun up and you're writing death letters home to your family and you're like, oh, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it home from this fucking thing. 24 hours later, like, he fled to Syria, we're not doing it. You're like, oh, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Don't be like that. Don't.
But it's hard, though, because that's human reaction.
It's hard.
It's like,
it's
oh,
hard.
Fuck.
So you almost become like a little bit of a pessimist.
Okay.
You're like, it ain't going to go. And if it does, great.
Not like a negative Nancy, but
you don't want to be a negative Nancy, but you got to find that it's not real until it's real. It's not my reality until it's my reality. And I was very bad about that when I was young. I get super amped up, not nervous, not chatty, not anything like that, but like in my heart, in my soul, I'm like, I am fucking so stoked to be doing this. And when they would pull it away, it's like, dude, I just want to do the fucking job, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I'm not here for anything else. I just want to do the job. That's all I want to do. Just let me go to work.
It's like, I'll believe it when I see it kind of deal. Yeah.
But maintaining that even keelness has helped me quite a bit, especially later on in my life.
Yeah.
No highs, no lows. Control things you can't control. And then being that active role model.
Yeah.
And being that clonable version of yourself. If you don't like how you are, change it. Like, what don't you like about yourself? Well, this, and this. You actively trying to fix that? Well, I don't have time. Make time.
You got time.
Yeah, you got time.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time. You're sleeping 12 hours a day. You got time.
Yep. Sleep less.
Sleep less, lift more, train more.
Yeah.
Be around the boys. Be a positive influence. Yeah. Beat the positive war drums that everybody else needs to be hearing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's really it, dude. Be
Let's
that role model you always wish you had.
Let's close this out with this then. You mentioned earlier that you had met Patsy, and you were dating her.
Yeah, I met Patsy, and God, Danny got killed in 2005. I came back from 2007. I met her probably halfway through the workup, 2008. Yeah, 2008. We got married end of 2009, going into 2010.
So you had met her after your second deployment? Well, it started dating, if you will.
I met her starting my third workup.
Third workup.
Right before I met Barrett, I met Patsy.
Okay. And how was that?
Fucking awesome. I mean, It was great.
I mean, not to get mushy, but
I mean, she grounded me.
yeah.
I needed it. I was a young team guy. I set my hair on fire, and I was kind of living that carefree lifestyle. Just burn it fucking down. I don't care. There's nothing else holding me back. And
A little arrogant, maybe. A little.
yeah. I mean, I think everybody had a little bit of arrogance for sure.
Yeah.
But for her, she made me go pro. For lack of a better, she made me. Between her and Barrett, and the person I knew I had to eventually become, she helped me get there faster. Because I had to represent her. Right, like I was treading some uncharted territory.
Right, yeah.
Not supposed to be dating widows. That's very taboo to do, and I basically made it a cultural norm. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
I'll play my flag in the ground on that. Like I made that a cultural norm.
Was that frowned upon back then in the community?
I don't know if it was frowned upon. Nobody ever did it. Like there was one other dude, and I think he was from the command. Best friend got killed. He had already gotten a divorce and ends up, 5 years later marrying his buddy's widow. But it was very hush hush. Nobody ever talked about it.
Right. Because I mean, to some extent, I can, from the outside looking in, I can understand that. Because you are, like, there's no way to put it. You're bonding through trauma.
Yeah. For sure.
She can relate. You can relate. Mm-hmm. You guys in the same community.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was in teams. Her dad was in the teams. We all knew all the same people.
Exactly.
Danny was a different team than me. Never knew him, never met him. But all his best friends are now super tight with me. Like, not even because of Patsy, just because of moving around, traversing throughout the community. Now all his best friends are now all my best friends. Mm-hmm. It's like now I feel like I know him. So I have this I have this weird connection to Patsy even before I knew her.
Right.
So then when I met her, I felt super comfortable with her. It was like, anytime I meet a team guy, I feel naturally at ease around team guys. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing around team guy wives. Like, I've been around it my whole life, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I know exactly what you're going through. I know the late nights. I know the kit bags full of dirty clothes. And I know all the shit, dude. Like, I've been there before. And I think she really helped me navigate through that. And she really pushed me to screen. That was one of Danny's dreams. Like, he really wanted to screen and he wanted to make a push. And unfortunately got killed. And that's what she told me. She's like, why do you want to go? And I said, I want to see what all the fuss is about. If the best dudes go over there, it should naturally be safer. If I'm surrounded by people that are better than me, in theory, it should be safer.
Right.
I know the target set's more dangerous, but because the performers are supposed to be higher, I should buy down the risk.
Yeah.
And that made sense to her. And she said, well, don't do it half-ass. So when I trained, like, she was into it. She'd do the long runs with me, and she'd help me prep my meals and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, dude.
That's cool.
Oh, it was super cool. But, we had to keep our relationship. Because, we started off just as friends. Like, I'd say text pals. Like, I just text her, and we do whatever. I finally took her out to lunch one day. But, we didn't tell anybody for months. Because, I'm trying to screen. I'm like, I don't want this thing to come up. And finally, I just said, fuck it. I was like, I'm sick of fucking hiding this thing. So we just came out. I started dating, and it came with my interview.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, dude.
How's that?
Fucking petrifying, dude. You're sitting around, they're asking you all these questions, and a lot of the questions they asked me, I can't ever repeat. And one of the ones they asked me was about her. He's like, are you married? I was like, nope. He's like, you got a girlfriend? I was like, I do. He goes, tell me about her. I was like, born and raised in Spain. Came over when she was 18 in the Navy. She was actually married to a service member that passed away in 2005. And he's like, who was it? Danny Dietz. And they all looked at each other. They already fucking know.
They know.
Oh, they know.
They know.
And they're like, that name sounds familiar. I was like, he was at SCV2, June 28, 2005.
They said that? That name sounds familiar?
And I told him, like, how do you think the community feels about you dating a widow?
Jesus.
And this is what I said. Anybody who's on that board, I know there's a bunch of dudes on here that are going to watch this that have seen that. This is exactly what I said. I went, I don't really fucking care. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I've been in the teams. I've been around this community my entire life, and I never do anything to disrespect this community or any of our past or fallen brothers, and I can't control who I fall in love with.
Yeah.
And they said something else like, would you leave her to be at this command? And I looked right at them and I said, no. And I was like, if this command doesn't want me because of who I'm married to, I don't want to be here anyway. Just like that. And that was essentially the end of my interview. Like, I don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm a team guy through and through, and you ask me a question, I'll answer it. And no, I don't fucking care. And if you don't want me to come over here because of who I'm dating, I don't want to be here anyway, dude. And got picked up right after that.
It's funny.
It was, man. But I mean, a lot of guys threw shade. A lot of people didn't even know me. You know, we'd come around in rumor mills and all this kind of bullshit. And like, what do you want me to do, man?
Yeah.
No.
People fall in love.
Yeah, they do, man.
Yeah.
And she's a fucking unicorn anyway.
She is.
She is, dude. I mean, she's a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, she came in my life at the perfect time. I was dating somebody when I came back from my second deployment, and that whole thing just ended in a fucking nightmare. So I was kind of just doing a single thing, just hanging out, just really becoming obsessed with job. I didn't care about anything else.
Mm.
You know, going out in town, burning it down, doing whatever else you did. And I got her, and it really just pulled me back on a straight and narrow. Like, Patsy didn't have a drop of alcohol until probably a year after Danny died. Never smoked a cigarette, never done drugs, never smoked pot, never drank.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like she was out burning it down trying to get me to go out there too. Like, if I wanted to go out, she wasn't drinking.
Right.
Like, well, she doesn't want to see me sloppy drunk, so I wouldn't. So we were just together. It was like we were an old married couple. We didn't have kids. There was nothing tying us down, just me, her, and the dogs.
Right.
And it was fucking awesome, dude. It was great.
So when you got back from your third deployment,
Mm-hmm.
you got married?
Mm-hmm.
How
We
long?
were home for a couple months, and I asked her to marry me before I left. I don't remember when we deployed on that, but we were probably dating for like a year and a half or something like that, and asked her to marry me. And got married at probably like the 2-year mark or something like that.
There was a bit in the documentary that I thought was pretty sweet about taking a trip to Colorado.
Mm.
Yeah. Can you share that too?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for the guys that haven't watched that documentary, it'll come out eventually, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, she, dude, I think it was Danny's birthday or an anniversary or something, maybe the wedding anniversary. It was something, and she wanted to fly out to Colorado, and I asked her if I could go, and we went, and, you know, I parked the car, and gave her 20 minutes. She went out there, brought flowers, and she does the whole thing of bringing out Windex, cleaning off his gravesite,
Mm-hmm.
you know, bringing stuff from the dogs, and just stuff like that. I mean, we'll bring out, you know, the dog's leashes and dig a little hole and bury the dog's collars at his gravesite and stuff like that. Shit you're not supposed to do, but you do. And she came back in the car. I tell she was crying, and asked her if she'd mind if I get out and walked over to the gravesite. I was like, never got to meet him. Just want to sit down and fuck. Yeah, man, sit down Indian style and just had a 20-minute conversation, playing back and forth, and just told him everything. Like, I mean, God, it sounds weird. Like, introduce myself. Like, where I'm from, where I went to high school, how many deployments, talked about my parents, talked about Patsy, gave him updates on Patsy's family, Nick and Glory, and just everything.
Yeah.
Just that, like, just really just introduced myself, and then caught him up to where we were at in current life. And I just told him, I was like, I don't know how to do this, man. I've never been married. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to navigate between being a full-time frogman and being a husband, and I don't know how to do this, and it's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to do the very best I fucking can, and I hope I do you service. And I mean, that was the one thing that I really tried to be okay with, was sharing my house with Danny.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go to my house right now, there's pictures of Danny on 3/4 of the walls of my house. Like, he's a member of my fucking family, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's on my refrigerator. He's in my office. He's in my living room. He's in our bedroom. Like, he just is.
Yeah.
And it's not a weird thing. Like, my kids know who it is. Like, they'll see a picture of him. Like, we were watching some shit the other day, and something flashed on YouTube, and it was a picture of Danny. And my 7-year-old, she's like, "That's Danny." I'm like, yeah. And she said, "What's Danny doing on TV?" I was like, it's an old thing. We watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, how cool is that?" Like, yeah. She's like, "Is he like my stepdad?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what we call Danny. We'll just call him. Let's call him an uncle right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he is. I mean, he's part of the family, and I always felt really connected with that. And when I first met her, I first came over to their house. That was a new house that Danny had never lived in, but she had this little shadow box they gave her after he died, and the awards were all fucked up. Like, his Silver Star got upgraded to a Navy Cross. The patches were crooked. The Velcro was peeling. It was a shit show. It just was. And I asked her, I was like, "Do you mind if I take a swing at this thing? Because this is atrocious."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind." I grabbed that thing, went over to John Will's studio, bought all the ribbons, all the medals, all the stuff, and made this. I mean, that fucker's probably 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide. I mean, it's massive.
Mm-hmm.
And made her shadow box, and she came home one day and it was just hanging on our wall. Like, I think I picked a lock. I don't even think I was living with her. I picked a lock and hung it in the fucking
Oh, that's
house.
cool.
And came back, but it was like, I wanted her to know for sure, like, I am never trying to erase that dude's memory. Never.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to do that for me. I'm most certainly not going to do that for you. That dude will forever be a part of my family and be a part of our lives. And I think by accepting that, it really brought us closer together, because I was probably the only dude that wasn't trying to push that away. Like, I want to be the center. I want to be the focus. You got a past.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully adopting it. And it worked.
That's
Thank
cool.
God. Yeah.
That's admirable.
Yeah, I mean, do what you can.
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, let's wrap this up, and we'll come back for the next episode, Chapter 5.
Yeah, we'll go to Chapter 5. We'll talk about going to S&T and then checking in.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.